Hello friends, it's Mangaka here. I'm doing this video again because more information is coming out from the Season 3 leaks that are happening courtesy of various Twitter users who are attending VSF 11 over in Europe, where there is a playable build of the Season 3 patch for Guilty Gear Strive that has Johnny on it, and of course everybody is deep diving to looking to try and see what they can figure out as far as what has changed about their characters. There's a lot of unconfirmed things. There's a lot of placebo effect going on, but there are a couple of things that we can confirm. I'm going to try and go through what we know for sure in this video today. I hope you enjoy it and expect a little bit more of Strive content from me going forward as I try to adjust to a new schedule, new things, etc., etc. So here we go. This little tweet right here saying you can burst chaos. Well, what the hell do they mean by that? We have to look at how they reworked the burst mechanic. As you can see, they made it so that burst now goes full screen. It is no longer a short range move where characters could either outrange it or do these burst safe routes. Burst just hits at full screen, and I think this is a great change overall for the game because there were a lot of characters, a lot of strong characters like Happy Chaos, obviously, Mei, Nagoriyuki in some cases, Zato, I think. They had routes that were burst safe, so basically, if you ever got into a situation where the combo would kill you, and they got the right kind of starter, they would route, a high-level player would route into a combo that just killed you. It was checkmate. You couldn't burst out of it either because it was a burst safe route. There wasn't really any points where you could safely burst and get out. Now that change basically means that burst just works. It works, period. You have to hard bait it across the entire cast. You have to do a jump cancelable normal, and you just have to make that call out and hard bait it. There's no longer going to be this gap between characters who don't have burst safe routes and characters that do have burst safe routes. And it basically means that players will have to, if you want to take a burst, you have to make the hard call out on it instead of routing around it. So I think this is a good change overall for the game. Obviously, players and characters that use these tools to play around that are not going to be happy with it, but I think it's a good change that is going to help kind of reduce some of the disparities between low tier and high tier characters. Now, there are a lot of specific character changes as well. Some of them are very, very easy to see. We can definitely tell here, for example, that Kai's far slash, look how fast that normal is now, and that heavy slash. So Kai has a lot more mid-range control, but we also see that his stun dipper's been nerfed. This used to be able to punish Leo's slash attack here, but now it no longer does, so they reduce the startup, or increase the startup, excuse me. They increase the startup on his stun dipper. There has been a couple of weird things, though, going on as well. Like there's this video here, for example, that says, man, they've really nerfed Axel. It seems like they reduced the range of some of his normals.
That's horrible. What have they done to my boy?
Right, so there seems to be some doom and gloom in the Axel low wheelhouses, right? But it's being speculated or confirmed, I'm not entirely sure, but it's come up where apparently someone has said that Axel can actually vary the lengths of his normal attacks now. So perhaps there's a mechanic now where if you hold down the normal button, then you get a longer normal. So you get the zoning with Axel from those ones, but then you get these faster, shorter recovery buttons. Potentially so, right? That second part's a bit unconfirmed. But that was a change that has popped up that somebody's arguably noted. We do see a minor change here to Ram Lethal, where she no longer is plus after her flip kick here. And they're testing some of the implications of her new projectile move. We saw that one in there. Mei is a character that has received quite a few nerfs. You could tell that she is not as mobile as she was before. She does not jump as high. So I know we were all losing our minds at Eva when they show that she can jump out of her dolphin, but that was very much to compensate for a lot of ways that they have change this character. Her 6K is a slower normal now. It is not as fast as it was before, and it is now plus on block as well as comboable on hit, but being as slow as this option is, it looks like it is very much reactable, and that most players should be able to safely block this and just accept the fact that they are now under plus frames and then play that mind game, or a very high-level player should be able to possibly react and actually punish Mei for going for this slower option. I think it's a little weird to do this to her. She didn't really have a lot of mental stack happening to her. It's not like she's a character that threatened a lot of things. She just kind of threatened, is it strike or is it throw? Is it strike or is it throw? It wasn't really like you're looking for cross-up, overhead, same side low, all these things at the same time, right? So it seems like they've nerfed a bit of her mobility, meaning that she's not as slippery as a character, and moving her more towards being this slower. I'm a big damage character, but I'm not hard to lock down. I'm not, and I'm relying on my special moves, which are charge moves, in order to get around. Although I don't know if the jump off the dolphin mechanic is just like a input move, right? Like she's able to just to do that instead of needing a charge or not. There's a reportedly less pushback, on her slash dolphin as well. It is still -3, but maybe she's at a closer range. Nagoriyuki has a change that we've been able to confirm where his 6 heavy slash is not special cancelable. So the Nago, if you look on the inputs, they were trying to input Fukio, and they could not get Fukio. So there's no longer using 6 Heavy Slash as an OTG move to then follow up with Fukio, basically for a free Fukio in terms of blood resource usage, and then have Okizeme. Instead, you don't get that. You have to use it as like a mid-combo tool, I think, because reportedly now, guard crushes, so now Nago is plus on block, but he can't special cancel, so he can't go plus on block Fukio forward and do real messed up mix-ups to you. Instead, he just probably resets his turn with a normal, right? As well as a ground bounce move. So if you get hit, he probably gets better rewards for it on hit, like whether or not, he uses it as a meaty and catches you, or potentially in his combo routes, he's able to get some new things. So a lot of implications there for Nago. Not sure if we are aware currently of any other changes. We know that Giovanna has a new move that empowers all of her other special moves. There's a thread right down here by S Critical, who's posting some stuff. Briefly looking through it, right? It's a quarter circle back heavy. Then you do the other special moves. They all get empowered. And it basically gives like her spiral arrow kick, a guard crush. Yeah, guard crush is on block. It's even more plus and hit. You can still 6P it though, and it's quite slow, right? So that's something to think about. She's able to convert solo off of her overhead kick or her cross-up hit, right? Her Sepultura is minus on block, or I think this is Sepultura. It's her back kick. It's her quarter circle back kick attack. It has a lot more pushback on it. And one thing to note, though, that they changed her regular 2-1-4 kick move. It no longer hard knockdowns. So this used to be a hard knockdown, like a sweep. Now it isn't a hard knockdown, so this has got a little bit more in line. This definitely is a nerf to Giovanna's pressure overall, because she's not able to route into a special move that gives her that hard knockdown. One thing that I noted, that's been noted, I should say, as well, is a Gold Burst change that's happened. Gold Burst has been reworked as a mechanic as well. Quick brief look. They changed the UI of the main menu. It's a little more streamlined, a little more readable and accessible. I think it's quite cool. At least, Gold Burst changes. Gold Burst only gives you positive bonus now. It does not give you 100% meter. So if you got a successful Gold Burst, it was a massive power spike, because then you had basically 2 get out of jail free cards for using like a blue Roman cancel, a yellow Roman cancel on defense, right? Or a PRC to whiff a special move, or doing like super into RC to make it safe. Now instead it just gives you positive bonus, which is still great. That's a lot, but you have to start snowballing and get that offense there. So it's a rework, bit of a nerf arguably, but there's a lot of implications there. And evidently positive bonus also fills the burst gauge over time, and that is pretty important, because now there's a lot of other ways to be spending burst gauge in this patch with the 2 new system mechanics that were added. So we do have to be aware of that, right? Leo received a very critical nerf. That was his heavy slash DP. They made it so it is no longer an invincible reversal, which, thank God, it was one of the most egregious parts about fighting that character. And Tempest is actually something in the comments here. So apparently Tempest says that they think that the heavy DPs might not have that invulnerability anymore. They might be being relegated into combo tool territory, where instead of you using these slower, high damage reversal options, right? Like Soul, if you hit you with a clean hit DP heavy slash as a reversal, that was a lot because then he had like a hard knockdown from an invincible reversal move. Same thing with Leo, and for Leo, that was doubly important because then he got his back turn stance Oki on you, and then you were basically in the mix because you left a gap in your offense. Now Leo doesn't get that win con. His slash DP is still an invincible reversal, though. Like they have confirmed this with Leo. But the reward.
So you can't use HVP as a reversal.
Oh, so you don't have the
Yeah, so now.
So slash DP is still the reversal option, but you don't get as strong of an Oki off of it anymore for Leo or for Soul with a clean hit DP. So it seems like they might be reworking a few heavy DPs to be combo tools instead of reversal tools, which I think is a great change for the game overall. Because, again, getting hit by invincible reversal and then you're in the enemy character's like best knockdown was pretty ridiculous. We have a list of changes for Sin. It seems like there's faster startup for these things. It seems, again, a lot of this is very much like by feel. We don't really have the hard concrete frame data yet, right? But, they're able to test a few situations to confirm a few of these things. Sin is getting a slew of buffs, it seems like. Potemkin's up here, but Gold Lewis has a couple of things. Air Behemoth seemed to have less startup. His 6B is faster. His Raging Assault, this is his burst mechanic dash. It is a reversal. It's plus on block and charges if charged. It launches if charged for a combo. That's all they could notice with Gold Lewis so far. But having a plus on block reversal for half of your bar on a slow character might be pretty telling of how ArcSys wants some characters to use these system mechanics and how they'll use these system mechanics and make them character specific to buff them out there. This is a pretty terrifying change. Potemkin now, his 5P hits crouchers. That's massive for his pressure. Could have a lot more tick throw setups that are possible because of this change. Potentially, I'm not sure. 2K fell faster, 2P felt the same. His forward Mega Fist tumbles on hit now, and it bounces on counter hit. So now you're no longer getting punished for hitting a forward Mega Fist on a standing opponent. Potemkin Pop Busters has reduced recovery, so now the Okizemi is better off of it. So Potemkin might be able to maintain his offense more if he goes for the Pop Busters. Flick is faster. Wild Assault can't be used in combos, right? And they didn't really test parry. I'm not sure if that's a reference to his new the drive mechanic. Not the drive, the burst gauge mechanic that exists now with the push block, or if he has a new special move. That's a parry. Baiken received a change. This is a pretty big change as well. Right? So we see here that Baiken, if she hits you with Tatami Gaish, it knocks you back on grounded hit. So before, Baiken could hit this with you, right? And then she got offense off of this, right? She got offense off of this. It could reset her pressure if she hits you with this standing. But now it resets, so she can't use this as a pressure tool anymore. Like, she can Red Roman and cancel and convert off of it, but it's not as good anymore for her pressure overall. So that's a very big change for Baiken. Anji's new move, as we kind of saw in the trailer, it basically is this attack that allows him to act immediately out of spin, so that if he does parry something, he's able to get a punish, so his spins are overall better tools. Zato, a couple of people have said his flight slower, a couple of things like that, but here in the menu screen, we can't confirm that inputting down while he's in the shadows allows him to switch positions with Eddie. And we see that he kind of teleports. It's not an instant switch. He kind of travels to it. So that's something that Zato mains will have to mess with. And we'll see fully what that entails for Zato. Well, a couple other things we confirm so far. Bedman keeps his air state after wall break. So that's great for him keeping his momentum. 2S and 2 heavy slash are true block strings.
hang on.
You used to be able to mash throw and blow this up. But now you can no longer do that. So that's a big buff to that pressure for Bedman. We looked at all of these. Eno move. There's already experimentation for dealing with the new system mechanics, right? Seems like if someone tries the push block mechanic, you can bait it and punish it. Alternatively, right, if you see it, you get this hit, you are able to RC and then still combo. So the new push block might be a little weak to an opponent who has that meter, right? In order to deal with it. I know that I have this one somewhere in here. Eno received a new move. She's one of the characters that also got a new move. And it's a pretty terrifying move as well, because it's a guard-crushing mid, actually. So The move itself, she flies across the screen like this. And it pops up like that, so you're possibly able to combo off of it and a guard crushes. So this is great for Ino. She actually has a plus on block special move, again, that does a lot for her pressure. So we'll have to see what Ino players cook up with it. There's already a cute little red Roman cancel thing. We also got a look. We're kind of interacting with things. Faust, he eats the item. He basically stalks it, and he could summon it later at his own will. They're looking around trying to find things. The Kara Super is still there for Chip. The Rekkas still behave pretty much exactly as they do. But his 6K is massively slower. And I think this is a change that makes sense for Chip, because he's a character that threatens a lot of options, right? You're looking for command throw, you're looking for run-up throw, you're looking for... He has a bunch of kick Gatling options, right? He can do 5K, 6K, 5K, 2D, right? That's a high-low mix-up. Not a true one, mind you, but with everything else that you're looking for, just a lot to do. He can go 5K, 5K. He can do Alpha Blade for a cross-up, Rekka series to start that off. There's a lot of options that this character threatens at once, and so 6K being slower, I think, makes a bit of sense, right? Like, you're supposed to be able to look and try to react on things, right? If you're only looking for 6K, then, you know, it's pretty much a free mash. If not, though, maybe you can get away with it. It is plus on block, though, so it is a pressure reset tool. And it is able to combo without meter. So there are some buffs to it, but a move being slower overall usually means that a move is going to be worse. His Rekka series seems to behave largely the same. There's talks of his Gamma Blade actually being slower.
That's slower.
This doesn't go as far, right?
It looks slower.
It looks slower, right?
Right, so again, this is all speculation because, you know, it could just be placebo effect, right? Like, we could just be imagining those things, and then, you know, people go, yeah, it does look like that, right? I'm not sure what we've been able to find with Soul Bad Guys so far out there. Although there's talks right now that there have been some buffs to Chip's Shuriken move. I'm not sure what those buffs are at the moment, but... So, a lot of things up in the air. That's basically what has been coming out from various Twitter users who are able to get their hands on the new version of the game over in Europe at the moment. We will get patch notes from Arc System Works later once they officially release this on or around August 24th. I imagine patch notes will drop like at August 23rd at the earliest, maybe a day or two earlier, but I think that usually you kind of get the patch notes as soon as the game is ready to roll out. So, but anyways, yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video. And I'll try and keep y'all posted up on various other updates and whatnot. Check out Twitter and all these wonderful users that you've seen here on the screen, as there's going to be a lot more discussion with Guilty Gear Strive going forward. Peace out, y'all.